I want to present a concept in this video that helps you answer the question, what happens when it comes to the bass solo, especially when the rest of the band drops out and stops playing? As bass players, as members of the rhythm section, we are a fundamental part of the groove, the bottom of the band. We're part of the reason people get out of their seats, get on the dance floor and start dancing. And there's almost no better way to clear a dance floor than to play a bass solo and take away all of that low end. We're going to be looking at a palm muting exercise from my book, Bass Player's Guide to Pentatonics. If you want to dig a little deeper into any of the stuff we talk about in today's video, signed physical copies are available down below in the description of the video. You can also get this at Amazon. You can get this digitally at my website, janekgwizdala.com/store. In fact, because there are only a few of these copies left, I'm going to sign it live in the video. Let's sign it. I always put a little picture of bass on here. And let's make it unique to this video. Let's say thanks for your support in 2024, which if you are somebody buying this book, I truly, truly appreciate. And then this will be one of one. So whoever is ordering first is getting this version. And I'm going to put on here, thanks for your support in 2024. All right, let's get into these concepts and play some bass. It's not like you haven't heard players like Victor Wooten before, the absolute master of making a room full of 1,000 or more people get up out of their seats and move when he's the only musician on the stage. He's the bass player, he's the chords player, he's the melody player, he's the drummer, he's everything all wrapped up in one. And it has such an infectious groove that you can't help but move. You can't help but get up and dance. No dance floor will be cleared when Victor Wooten is in the band. And we can learn a lot from a player like that. I'm going to give you a concept where we work on the bass end, the low end part of the groove, and at the same time, a small melody fragment. And the idea is to keep these two parts kind of juggling up in the air, keep them moving together, to never lose the pocket, and to always be about the time, about the sound, and about the feel. I'll play the exercise down once with the backing track, and then we can tear it apart, dive into it. I'll explain exactly what I'm doing. So there it is, with the luxury of the band, with the play-along. By the way, the book does come with over 50 play-alongs and something like 75 videos. So if you're ever in any doubt, you can get a really close look at any of the things I'm doing. Now, the real question comes, and this is a question I get so often, is like, what happens when it comes to the bass solo and the rest of the band drops out? It's all very well doing it with a nice fancy backing track, feel very cozy. There's maybe an inkling to be less responsible for your time because there's other stuff going on and people holding it together. The real test comes when we break this thing down into two parts, into the bass part and the melody part. These two fragments, we put them together. Not only do we put them together, but we do it on our own. We do it without a click even, or without a metronome. We do it completely on our own. That's the exercise. That's what I want you to get in the habit of doing just a little bit every day. The bass line is quite simple when you pick it out. That's it. C, B flat, and A flat. So my first port of call is to play the bass line and play it with the fingers that I will eventually play it with when I have the melody going on as well. It's no good starting off on the fourth finger here and second finger and sliding it down the second finger when, as soon as I get to the need to play that melody part as well, it's going to be a completely different fingering. So as I'm building the house, so to speak, when I'm building that foundation, I want to be doing it with the right fingering. So for this exercise, it's just the first finger. Let's add the melody part to this. E flat, F, E flat, C. 2, 3, and. And our last little run is a pentatonic run in C minor. So E flat to E flat. Now let's try it together. If any of this is going too fast, pause and rewind. The beauty of YouTube, you have the pause button. You can work at your own pace. So the first thing I noticed right there was my time was not great on this part. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slow the whole thing down, and I'm going to put my fingering, my picking hand, my fretting hand, I'm going to put them both under the microscope. This is essential in your practice routine. Don't just blast through it when you hear a mistake. Go back and find out what the mistake was, and then figure out a solution for the problem. That is how you're going to accelerate your learning. That's how you're going to learn faster, better, how things are going to be more ingrained into your soul the right way, the way you want to hear them. Wasn't perfect still, but the slower tempo is definitely helping. And now, as I was talking, as I played the line, I found the solution. It was about palm muting more than playing it a free stroke or rest stroke. So, and the changeover from fingers to thumb, so I could strike the downbeat of the first bar of the phrase. So the last note of the run, the E flat, ends up being the thumb, and then I strike the downbeat of the next bar with the thumb also. So just really focus in on my picking hand here. Forget about the left hand for a second, the fretting hand. Now, there are elements of that where the notes in the middle of the phrase at the end sound a little weaker than the others. That's a taste thing. I would practice to the point where they sound completely even and the same, and then to the point where I have control of any of the notes to stick one out, bring one down a little bit in volume, just looking for complete control. Then it's repetition, and it's about playing it for as long as you have time. You all know your time constraints and how long you have to dedicate to this. For me, it's as much time as possible. The repetition is completely key to the success of the time you spend with the instrument. If you can do this for just 5 minutes a day, you're going to be in incredible shape. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Imagine a month from now, the experience of doing this consistently every day. There's just amazing potential, amazing upside for very rapid progress when the intent with which you practice is front and center in terms of importance. Now, if you look back at the way I just played that, I was trying to find solutions for that last line. In the moment, as I was playing it, I decided to shift positions, play it with a completely different string set, different picking hand, different fretting hand, everything, and different articulation, and found a way to play it way cleaner, and just to the point where it felt comfortable and I could feel more musical with it. So instead of starting first finger and playing across the entire instrument from top string to bottom string, I started fourth finger on E flat and played just over 3 strings instead of 4. Felt way cleaner, way more articulate. Now that's just a small technical detail. These are the kinds of things that crop up in my practice routine every single day. But what I want you to leave this video with is a little more confidence in terms of holding down the groove and being able to play something melodic, something not necessarily an out-and-out solo, but something that helps you move towards being expressive with more of the range of the instrument, especially if you find yourself in that situation where it comes to that moment where the band leader turns and says, okay, go, it's your turn, it's the bass solo. Don't make people go to the bar. Don't make people leave the dance floor. help keep people moving. That's what music is for. We are responsible for that just as much as anyone else in the band. And there's no reason, if your drummer is super lazy and drops out while it's your turn to solo, there's no reason why you can't keep that entire room moving, just like Victor Wooten does, just like any great musician does, regardless of their instrument, actually. So if you have questions about any of this, about any of the stuff in the book, anything we've talked about today, please leave them below in the comments. I really try as hard as I can to get to every comment that gets left. This video came from comments for people asking me, hey, what do I do when it's my turn to solo and the band drops out? Or what do I do when it's my turn to solo and I'm not a full-blown soloist and I want to keep some of the groove? That's why this video is happening. So comments are really important to more videos like this getting made. And that's it. Happy practicing, happy grooving, happy bass playing, happy music. And I'll see you soon.